Father vs. Son, the match that changed everything, Part 204. As the game moves into the middle stage, something subtle begins to change. The father is still calm, still confident, but for the first time, he's no longer controlling the pace of the game. The child is. Every move arrives with quiet certainty. No hesitation. No panic, only focus. And that's exactly what makes this moment extraordinary, because chess has never been about age. It's about seeing possibilities that others overlook. Hook, what if the greatest advantage in chess isn't experience, but curiosity? Children often see the board differently. They aren't trapped by habits. They aren't afraid to explore. Sometimes, that fresh perspective becomes their greatest strength. Scientists have spent decades studying how chess influences the developing brain. Again and again, one pattern appears. Children who regularly play chess learn to organize information more efficiently. Instead of reacting emotionally, they pause, they evaluate, they predict, then they act. Those 4 simple steps become powerful habits that extend far beyond the chessboard. Imagine facing an important school exam, or solving a difficult math problem, or making a decision under pressure. The same mental process applies. Observe, analyze, decide, execute. Chess quietly teaches this without children even realizing they're learning. Hook, but here's something even more fascinating. The next move changes everything. The father notices a tiny weakness. A pawn appears vulnerable. It looks like an easy opportunity. Most players would capture it immediately, but the child had already anticipated this. 3 moves ago. Sometimes the best move in chess isn't the one you can see, it's the one your opponent doesn't. The father smiles, not because he's winning, because he realizes his child is beginning to think strategically. That's every parent's dream. To watch knowledge transform into independent thinking. To witness confidence replace uncertainty. To see learning become instinct. No trophy can compare to that feeling. Every chess piece tells a story. The pawns teach patience. Small steps, repeated consistently, can change the entire game. The knights remind us that progress isn't always straight. Sometimes success requires unexpected paths. The bishops teach long-term vision, the rooks reward preparation, and the queen, the most powerful piece on the board, reminds us that true strength comes with responsibility. Even kings depend on the entire team. Perhaps that's one of chess's greatest lessons. No single piece wins alone. Success comes from working together, just like families, just like communities, just like life itself. Hook, then everything becomes silent. No one speaks. No one moves. Only one decision remains, and it could decide the entire match. The child studies the position. 10 seconds, 20, 30. The room feels frozen. Then, one piece moves. Quietly, confidently, without celebration, without hesitation. The father's expression changes immediately. He sees it, the combination, the hidden attack, the escape routes are disappearing, one by one. The child hasn't simply found a good move, he's built a plan. And that's the difference between playing chess and understanding chess. Many people believe intelligence is something you're born with, but skills like planning, concentration, and problem-solving grow stronger through practice. Chess doesn't magically create genius. It trains the mind to think more effectively. Every game strengthens neural pathways. Every challenge develops resilience. Every mistake becomes another lesson stored for the future. That's why millions of families around the world introduce children to chess at an early age. Not to create world champions, but to help build thoughtful, confident, and patient human beings. Final hook, and just when the father believes he still has one final chance, he notices something unexpected. The child isn't looking at the pieces anymore. He's looking at the entire board, seeing connections invisible just minutes before. In the next moment, the impossible becomes reality, and one quiet word will change everything. Checkmate. To be continued. Father vs. Son, the moment a child became the teacher. Part 306. 30. The room becomes completely silent. Two players, one chessboard, one final decision. The father looks carefully at the position. For years, he has been the teacher, the one showing the rules, the one explaining the strategies, the one guiding every step. But today, something has changed. The student has become the challenger, and the teacher is about to discover the greatest lesson of all. Hook, because sometimes the most important victories in life are not the ones where we defeat someone else. They are the moments when we discover what we are truly capable of. The child reaches toward the board. His hand pauses above the piece. 1,000 possibilities exist. One wrong move could change everything. One right move could create a memory that lasts forever. Then, the piece moves, a simple movement, a powerful decision. The father looks at the board, and suddenly, he understands. The game is over. Checkmate. For a brief moment, nobody speaks. The child looks surprised. He doesn't celebrate loudly. He doesn't jump. He simply smiles, because deep inside, he understands something important. He didn't win because his father was weaker. He won because he learned, because he practiced, because he believed he could improve. The father smiles too, because this was never just about winning a chess game. This was about watching a young mind grow. Every parent dreams of seeing their child become confident, independent, creative, ready to face challenges, and sometimes, the greatest gift a parent can give is not the answer. It is the opportunity to find the answer. Hook, but there is a hidden story behind this victory, a story that happens every time a child sits in front of a chessboard. A battle is taking place, not between black and white pieces, but inside the mind. When a child studies a chess position, the brain enters a world of imagination. They must visualize future possibilities. They must predict consequences. They must control emotions. They must accept uncertainty. These abilities are not only useful in chess, they are essential skills for life. A child who learns to think before acting gains a powerful advantage. Because the world rewards those who can make thoughtful decisions, chess teaches something many modern activities cannot. Patience. In a world where everything moves faster every day, chess asks children to slow down. To observe. To think deeply. To understand that great results rarely happen instantly. A strong player knows that one careless move can change the entire game, and a wise person knows the same rule applies outside the chessboard. Hook, here is the surprising truth. The child did not defeat his father today. The child defeated yesterday's version of himself, the version that knew fewer strategies, the version that was afraid of difficult challenges, the version that had not yet discovered his own potential. Every great achievement begins with small victories. The first correct move, the first solved problem, the first moment of confidence. Nobody becomes excellent overnight. Champions are created through thousands of small improvements, and chess teaches children this lesson naturally. The father carefully places the pieces back in their original positions. The battle is finished, but the journey has just begun. Tomorrow, they may play again. Perhaps the father will win, perhaps the child will win again, but the real victory belongs to both of them, because they are building something stronger than a winning record. They are building a relationship, a connection based on learning, respect, and shared moments. Hook, and this is why a simple chessboard can become one of the most powerful educational tools in a child's life, because behind every piece, behind every move, behind every checkmate, there is a lesson waiting to be discovered. Millions of families around the world have found that chess creates a unique environment where children develop while having fun. They learn discipline without pressure. They improve focus without boredom. They develop confidence through experience, and they discover that their minds are capable of amazing things. The greatest players are not always the ones who memorize the most moves. They are the ones who understand the game, the ones who stay calm under pressure, the ones who continue learning after every mistake. And perhaps the most beautiful thing about chess is that anyone can begin, a child, a parent, a beginner, a future champion. All it takes is the courage to make the first move. End of part 3.
Father vs. Son, the game that built a future. Final part 08:30. The chessboard is quiet now. The pieces are back in their original positions. But something has changed forever, because this was never just a game. It was a moment where a child discovered his own ability, a moment where a father witnessed growth, a moment where a simple wooden board became a place of learning, connection, and inspiration. Years from now, the child may forget the exact moves of this game. He may forget where each piece was placed. But he will never forget the feeling of sitting across from someone who believed in him. That is the hidden power of chess. It creates memories that go beyond competition. A father and son sitting together. A parent and child sharing time. Two minds connected through a game that has existed for centuries. In a world filled with distractions, these moments become priceless. Chess is often described as a battle between two players, but the deepest battles happen inside ourselves. The battle against impatience. The battle against doubt. The battle against giving up. Every chess player learns the same truth. The easiest move is not always the best move. The fastest solution is not always the smartest solution. Great results require thought, discipline, and courage. And perhaps the greatest lesson of this chess match is not about winning. It is about becoming better than you were yesterday. A child who learns chess learns something powerful. You don't have to be perfect to improve. You only need to keep learning. One move at a time, one challenge at a time, one decision at a time. This mindset creates confidence, not the confidence that comes from always winning, but the confidence that comes from knowing you can face difficult situations. Parents often search for activities that help their children grow. Something educational, something meaningful, something that develops the mind while creating happiness. Chess offers exactly that. It combines imagination with logic, creativity with discipline, competition with respect. It teaches children to think deeply while enjoying the journey. Imagine a child who doesn't immediately give up when something becomes difficult, a child who learns to analyze problems, a child who understands that every mistake can become a lesson. This is the type of thinking chess can encourage, and this way of thinking can influence an entire future. The world's greatest innovators, scientists, and leaders all share something in common. They know how to think. They know how to ask questions. They know how to look at problems from different angles. Chess does not guarantee success, but it helps train the mental habits that support success. Curiosity, focus, patience, strategic thinking. The father looks at his child one more time. He knows this game was special, not because he lost, but because his child gained something much more valuable than victory. He gained belief, the belief that his ideas matter, the belief that his decisions have value, the belief that he can challenge even those with more experience. Final Every champion begins with a first move. Every expert was once a beginner. Every great mind started with a simple question. What happens if I try? So perhaps tonight, somewhere in the world, a child will sit in front of a chessboard for the very first time. Maybe they will lose. Maybe they will make mistakes. Maybe they won't understand every strategy. But that doesn't matter, because every game begins the same way. With curiosity, with courage, with the first move. The chessboard waits, the pieces are ready, and a new journey is about to begin. Because chess is not only a game. It is a lesson in life. A lesson that teaches us to think before acting. To learn from mistakes, to respect challenges, and to always believe that the next move could change everything. If this story inspired you, share it with someone who believes in the power of learning. Leave a comment and tell us who would win in a chess match in your family, a parent, or the next generation. And remember, the greatest victories are not always the ones where we defeat others. The greatest victories are the moments when we discover what we are capable of becoming. The game ends, but the learning continues.